Hey, science guys, it's Mr. McComb again, coming at you for some more energy talk. Uh, Today, we're going to get into a couple pages 290 and beyond to talk about specific kinds of energy. I'm just going to go over real quick. So you're doing the reading at home. Few types of energy. So yesterday we talked about potential and kinetic. It's like kind of the versions of energy. These are going to be specific kinds of energy that we can look at. Again, these are things we use all the time. In fact, you're using some of them right now as you listen to me or you see me and watch and read the videos or in the book. Um, a couple we can look at, again, I'm just going to kind of highlight real quick. Loud, soft, hot, cold. That sounds like a couple of things, little clues right there. One type of energy we've kind of discussed or will discuss here is sound energy. Now, you may not think of sound as like a form of energy, but it is. It involves motion, it involves movement, it involves vibration. I'm sure Mr. Deal has talked about that a lot if you're in his band class, about how you create vibrations, whether you're playing the bass guitar strings or blowing on the trumpet and things. The vibrations we create with waves actually move through the particles of air that are going into our ears. When I speak, my vocal cords down in my throat vibrate and make specific vibrations and sound frequencies, and then those sound waves travel through the air, bouncing off the bits of air and into our ear. And our ear translates that into the ways we can communicate, the music we hear, the language we speak. Okay, so sound as a form of energy is definitely one. It's considered a type of kinetic energy because particles of matter are moving. It says the causes of all the sound you hear. So anytime you hear sound, that's sound energy. Pretty cool. Okay. Another one is thermal energy. Now I kind of mentioned our next lesson we'll cover next week is going to talk more about this. But it says thermal energy is the total kinetic energy of the particles that make up a substance. Now, thermal means heat, hot, cold, things like that. This is like a super sciencey definition, but basically things that are hotter are having more thermal energy, are moving around more. So like water that evaporates, the little bits of water start moving so fast they actually separate into steam and they become really, really hot and they move around more. When they're moving around at sort of a medium speed, like I kind of mentioned yesterday, it might just be liquid water that flows and moves and the particles move in a certain way. When the water freezes to ice, it's still water, but it becomes colder, meaning it has less kinetic energy. And in fact, it slows down so much the particles aren't moving much at all, and then they just kind of stay still, which is why we have like rock solid ice. Okay, so again, this is one that's really tough to kind of grasp and understand, this idea that thermal energy really means just how fast things are moving. So that's something we're going to kind of touch on a little later in next week's lesson is all about thermal energy. Okay, so that one, don't worry too much if you're like, that's kind of weird, I don't get it. Totally okay. It took me a while when I first started teaching this stuff, like to really understand and grasp and say it in the right way, and it's hard to do over a video anyway. So anyway, just know heat energy. Heat is a form of energy, and we can definitely sense that as well. Just like we sense sound, we can sense heat with touch. A lot of our sensory abilities of our body are to perceive forms of energy. So that's kind of cool too. All right. So that's it for 290 and 291. As we go down to 292 and 293, we have a couple other kinds of energy. One really important one that's in our everyday lives, of course. One is also an important one too over here is light energy. Light is energy, is a form of energy that can travel through space. Light can also pass through some types of matter. So basically light energy travels as waves as well. When you see with your eyes, right now the screen you're watching, there's light energy, light waves coming toward your eyes that are, your eye catches those and tells your brain what you're seeing. Okay, that is what light energy is all about. So the sunlight that comes down from the sun has light wave energy. The light we see as we look outside is just reflections of all that. The light and electricity we have in our light bulbs and things. Giving off light is really helpful because it helps us see things. Okay, so light is a form of energy as well. Then the other one we get to is electrical energy. Now this is important definitely in our common lives, our normal modern lives. We can get electrical energy from our plugs and outlets to power our computers. Like I said, right now, if I'm down in my basement, I've got lights above me that take the electricity. You have to flip the switch to have the electricity go to the light bulb, and then the light bulb contraption turns that electrical energy into light energy. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a minute. And also gives off heat as well, right? That's not necessarily the intended purpose, but you may notice after a while light bulbs get hot. And as we turn and convert energy, a lot of times heat is given off as well. And that has to do with, again, that thermal energy. So We talked about a few things here. These are the big ones I just want to kind of quickly touch on and highlight today. Electricity we use all the time, and when we take electricity and we play music, that converts electrical energy into sound energy. When we take electricity and turn on a light switch, that converts it into light energy. And all those other things too. Again, we can use it for heat as well. If you got like a space heater in the wintertime, you plug it in and it gives off heat. A toaster, if you make toast for breakfast, you turn it on, it runs on electricity and it converts it into heat that makes our yummy toast. These are things we use all the time. Okay, so again, we're just kind of quickly going through and previewing these. But here we've talked about, again, sound energy when we make noise. Heat energy is given off and we can measure that. Again, we'll talk about more of that down the road. And then light energy helps us see things. Again, that's a form of energy. And certainly electricity is a form of energy that we use quite a bit. That's mainly what I want to cover today. The next pages, I'm not really going to have you read in the book because there's a lot in this and it's really tough to kind of unpack, but it's all about mechanical and chemical energy. Chemical energy is a big one. So when we have like chemical energy is stored in gasoline that helps lawnmowers go or cars. Our bodies take the chemical energy in our food we eat and turn that into the energy that our bodies get to use. So chemical energy is a big one. Now, what you've got for tomorrow is a Bill Nye video about chemical reactions. Now, when we think chemical reactions, we think of like things in a science lab or things like that. Chemicals, really anything most things are made of chemicals, and there's energy in there. So again, when our body we eat food and our body digests it and turns into the energy we use, that's a chemical reaction. Okay, there's a Bill Nye video you're going to watch tomorrow, Bill Nye the Science Guy episode. I know we love those, and so I thought that might be a fun way to illustrate some of these chemical reactions and chemical energy. You'll notice in the video sometimes those chemical reactions give off heat, sometimes they give off light. He'll talk about all kinds of different examples, and that's always a lot of fun. Okay, so today's, again, video pretty short, just going over the main types of energy. Tomorrow, I hope you enjoy the Bill Nye the Science Guy episode about chemical energy and chemical reactions. So notice when he'll talk about some other forms of energy which we've discussed. And then Thursday, we'll have a quiz over this stuff, just kind of covering the basics. Like I said, we're going through things kind of quickly here toward the end of the year. You'll have that online, so check your email for that link to the energy quiz. It's all online, but it follows the same kind of style. Vocab and definitions, a couple multiple choice questions, and then you'll be all set. Okay. So again, thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy Bill Nye tomorrow. And I'll be looking forward to Thursday, you getting the quiz turned into me, and then we'll keep moving on and talk more about some other types of energy next week. Okay. Have a great rest of the day and the rest of the week, because this is my last science video for the week. But I'm sure you'll see me for math if you got me for that, and we'll be working on some other things too with English as well. All right. Thanks, guys.